The following is a sponsored program paid for by Robin Gwaltney Group-RE Results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE Results and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning. I'm Andy Brownell with News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. It's Saturday morning again, and our chance to chat with Robin Gwaltney Group-RE Results, and talk about Rochester real estate. Morning, Robin.
Hi there. How are you?
Doing as well as we can expect.
Yeah, exactly.
I did enjoy the summer-like weather we had earlier in the week, and I understand next week we're going to be back to more like winter-like, but perhaps halfway decent for this weekend. So,
yeah, well, that's good. You know, we have to take it the way it comes, I guess.
It is Minnesota weather, that's it for sure. Boy, oh boy. Other than that, the normal swings that we see in the weather, the strangeness that we're all living in continues for another week. The stay-at-home order from the governor extended into early May, and I'm checking in with you, Robin, to see how things are going with the real estate business on your end.
Things are definitely quiet. Definitely quiet. You know, a lot of the agents on my team are starting to wonder, you know, is this really going to get better in a few months, or, you know, are we headed down a long, dark path? And I still believe that it will get better. You know, I feel like the government has been really working diligently to keep money in people's pockets, you know, as best as they can to keep the economy flowing. And I feel like when this does finally pass and we have hit our peak and we're on the way down and people start to be able to breathe again and feel like, you know, maybe there is a light at the end of the tunnel, that hopefully things will eventually, you know, get back to normal.
I think it'll be a little bit different than the normal, but I think a more normal situation. That's for sure.
It'll be our new normal.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I think.
But
go ahead.
Well, you're talking about the uncertainties of the time, certainly financially, and I think that you mentioned also the federal government taking action. That money really hasn't turned up yet for individuals, and it will probably next week is when it'll start showing up in people's bank accounts, and that alone might get the mood a little bit uplifted.
Yeah, no, I think people have every right to be concerned. You know, I look at the fact that we have 3, you know, full-time admin positions and then a marketing position, and all those are based on the volume that we do. And, you know, fortunately, we are in a position to continue to pay them, at least for now, and they still have some work, at least for now, right? So I just take it one day at a time, and we'll see where things go.
I still imagine that you haven't seen or heard from the majority of the residents that are going to have a place to live at some point this summer.
Yeah, and we're selling, you know, we are selling houses. We're just, when people say, how's the market? I say, it's like December. It's like January. It's definitely not like the spring market. I mean, we're still getting calls for listings. I had 2 listing appointments this week. We still have buyers out there looking. It's just not the crazy hustle bustle of the spring market as we knew it.
As you had mentioned before, perhaps that's just going to be a delayed crazy market.
That's kind of what I think. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that the government will continue to do what they can to keep the economy going. And I'm feeling like these interest rates that we're seeing are still phenomenal. I don't expect that to go away. So I think once people are, you know, called back to work, what is it? 10% of our workforce is on unemployment right now.
It might even be higher than that. When they tally the, you know, that's based on week to week things. They think cumulatively it could be maybe 20%.
Yeah. So I mean, I hope that most of those people will be called back to work, right? Because as those businesses reopen, they're going to need their people back. So that's why I feel like once we have some sense of security and people feel like, okay, it's okay to make a big investment, or, you know, it's fine to put my house on the market, there still are buyers out there, because there definitely are.
Are you seeing anybody bargain hunting at this point?
Well, I will say I haven't seen any like ridiculously low priced homes or anything like that. I feel like people are either putting them on the market for the price that they would have put it on last month or the month before, or they're holding off and maybe in hopes that they'll even be able to put it on for a higher price. Who knows?
I just, in my gut, I just think that there has to be a pent-up demand at some point. If it's not just the residents, but also the folks, as you mentioned, the interest rates are still insanely low. I think there's a lot of folks who, 80% of the people in Minnesota are working in positions right now that are considered essential. They're still pulling in paychecks. They're waiting for life to get back to a more normal state, even while they're collecting a paycheck.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think people don't want to go out in more fear of, well, I mean, I feel like, first of all, I commend people for taking this so seriously here in Minnesota. So I feel like people think, is it frivolous of me to go looking at houses if I really don't have to move right now? If I could wait till July or August, is that the right thing for me to do? And, we're Minnesota nice people, right? And that's why I think we are being very considerate and we're doing such a good job. And, the numbers are showing it. So I think that a lot of people feel even kind of uncomfortable going out looking at houses. And I do try to get the message out that if you are indeed looking for a house, it is perfectly acceptable. We can go out and look at houses. And again, if there's a house that someone wants to see, but they don't want to leave their house, we can go out as agents and do the virtual showings. And we're doing a lot of that, and it's working.
I wonder if talking about the warranties that are available might actually give folks who are going to rely on you to use the technology to show the homes through the video cameras, maybe some assurance of, if you're not actually going and looking at it yourself, at least you know that that home warranty is available and enforced. So
if there's, yeah,
I guess it would make me feel a lot better.
Yeah, and not just the warranty, but I really am a strong advocate for having your home pre-inspected if you're a seller right now, because it's really nice if we've got that inspection report to give to the seller as well, because that's so much different than just looking at pictures. They're looking at what an inspector had to say about the condition of the furnace and the hot water heater and the roof and, all of those things. So I feel like it's just one more way to look at it, actually take a deeper look at it.
Right. And we mentioned this last week when we chatted that, you talked about people who might want to wait until later and perhaps can wait until later, but there are people who are in a situation that they have to put their house on the market, or they are actively seeking because of their circumstances. They need a roof over their heads.
Absolutely. I just recently was helping a buyer who he had a lease that was going to be up. He had to be out, absolutely had to be out by the end of March. And he was starting to panic because he was in that $250,000 to $300,000 price range, and we would go out and look at properties, but we were getting into multiple offers on all of them, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want you to go crazy and overpay just to win, just to get the house. So I really wish we could wait until we can find, a good house for a good value and not overpaying, not fighting for it, that kind of thing. And so he did talk to his landlord and explained, I know that you don't have a month-to-month policy, but I do not want to sign for another 6 months. Is there any way with this whole COVID-19 thing you could show me a little, give me a little slack? And they did. So they gave him until the end of May to find something, which really took a lot of pressure off.
I suppose we're all going to have to do that, right? Everybody's going to have to kind of be a little bit more cognizant of the other person's situation and maybe bend a bit.
Yeah, we just have to be flexible. We're all in it together, and I think if we just keep that in mind, that's what's going to get us through.
All right, we're talking with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE results here in Rochester, and we will continue our regular program in just a moment on News Talk 1340, KROC AM, and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome back to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results, and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. Good morning again. Andy Brownell, News Talk 1340 KROC AM, 96.9 FM, along with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results. We were talking about Rochester real estate as we do every Saturday morning. And you and I did a special program that was on yesterday on the radio with a couple other local business people, and we kind of touched on that the people who aren't working are having some extra time on their hands, and the hardware stores and the other big boxes that sell paint and all sorts of household things are actually seeing a kind of a fairly brisk business as we do projects around the home. I think you were the one who brought that up during that special program, Robin.
Yeah, I actually heard that from one of the professional painters. He told me that he went to Sherwin-Williams to get some paint for a vacant listing that I have that he's painting, and he said they are literally running out of paint.
Wow.
I know. I mean, they have a lot of paint. So, of course, my mind is saying, this is awesome. People are at home, finally have a little extra time on their hands, and they don't want to feel pent up, so they're trying to stay busy. And so they're cleaning those closets. They're decluttering their garage. They're getting rid of the stuff they don't need. They're giving the walls a fresh coat of paint. So, again, in my eyes, they're making their house market ready. I'm like, those houses are going to be looking so good, and they're going to be like, okay, things are, feeling healthy, people are moving about, people are back to work. And of course, I'm thinking about in the future, right. Whether that is July or August or September or whenever it is, when that day comes, I think they're going to be looking at their house going, now would be a perfect time. My house hasn't looked this great in a while, and the interest rates are still really low, and everybody else's houses that I might be interested in buying are probably looking the best they've looked as well. So I think that's going to, play a big part.
It would be kind of fun for you if it ends up being the situation this summer and things do get crazy again, that you go and do your initial visits to homes and you look around and go, I don't have to give you any list of things to do.
You're ready. Let's do this. Yeah, I mean, honestly, because we all know what it takes to get our houses market ready, but the one piece that we're usually missing is the time to do those projects and to do those to-do lists. So, yeah, I think this is, again, I like to look at the positive.
Yeah, I wish there's a lot of lists of things I could be doing here at the homestead. Do you have any advice for the people who might be doing exactly what you said? That maybe if you're putting a coat of paint on, are there any colors to stay away from, or are there colors that might be better for you if it ends up that later on, a few months down the road, you do decide to put the house on the market?
I feel like color is something that changes so rapidly. We went through a few years where if you didn't have earth tones, you were completely out of it. You had to have the golds and the greens and maybe even an accent autumn red color wall or, something. And then we went from that to let's just neutralize it, and everything is beige, 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 beige. And from the beige, things kind of shifted to the grays. And then from the grays, they kind of moved into the light, airy colors, like I call them the beach colors, like the sea breeze and the really light greens and the light blues, and everything is open and airy. But I think I've seen HGTV shows and I've seen articles about people going back to bright, vivid colors or dark colors. And to me, what I like is when you don't use too many colors, so you the house kind of flows from one room to the other. When I show a house and you walk in and every single bedroom is a different color and every single bedroom has a different carpet, it just never has the same nice flow as when you kind of use something, continuously throughout.
So in other words, when you get that paint sample, if it's the one tone, work within a small range within that one tone.
Right. Or things that at least they're all on the same palette, they all match, right? So that it still flows nicely. You don't want to use pastels through half of your house and bright, vivid colors through the rest. You just kind of want to have your theme and go with it.
And when you were talking about the different colors and the changes that you've watched over time,
20 years, yeah.
With the light, airy ocean colors, all I kept thinking was, oh my goodness, we're back to Miami Vice.
Oh, yeah, kind of. But, I think it makes sense in Minnesota, especially because we do have, such a cold, dreary winter. And it's kind of nice if you open up your curtains and let the sun shine in, and then it's kind of bright and nice. And I like it.
Are there any don't go there colors as far as folks that you've seen that when they come into a home and they go, oh, it just kind of is a turnoff right away?
Well, I'm happy if you support the Minnesota Vikings, and I love that. But, don't make your family room purple on one wall and gold on the other. Don't do it. Just stay sort of neutral and pleasing to most people, I think is a good suggestion.
Is that probably the simplest thing that people can do to make their homes more attractive, is slap on a new coat of paint?
I mean, it's a pretty easy thing to do, and I think some other things that's cheaper is decluttering and cleaning. This is the time to go through those really jam-packed closets and just get rid of stuff. I tell everybody I have like a 3-basket system, and so, just envision 3 laundry baskets and start one room at a time. And one basket is, yes, this is my absolute keep stuff. So when I'm all done organizing this room, I'll decide where I'm going to put it. This is the stuff that I'm just going to donate because I don't need it. I haven't used it forever. And this is the basket that I'm just throwing in the trash because really that's what it is. And then when you get done, you take that trash basket and throw it away. You take that donate basket and get it donated, and then take the stuff that you want. And if you are planning to move, do I need all of these things in my cabinets right now? If I do, put them all back. If you don't, pack up the things that you don't need and label from the family room or from the kitchen or whatever, so that you have nice, neatly packed and labeled boxes, and you're only actually using the things that you need right now.
I can tell that you really are an optimist, Robin, because you use baskets when you describe this. I've been in the house 30 years now. It might be quite a bit larger than a basket.
Well, you can redo the baskets. After you've filled the trash, go dump it and start over. It's okay. It's okay.
All right. We're talking with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE results, and we'll be back in just a moment on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome back to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. Andy Brownell with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE results. Boy, it's Saturday, and, I still can't wrap my brain around it, Robin, that tomorrow's Easter Sunday already.
Isn't that crazy?
It's been really hard to think of that it's that time of the year with what's happening around us.
Holy Week came and went, and there was nothing different about it. We were still sheltered in, and it is. It's really unusual, and I'm big into the holidays, and I love having the whole family over for all the holidays and cooking big meals and decorating. And at Easter, there's an egg hunt for the kids, and we can't do any of that. We just can't. Scott and I have, as you know, 2 adult children who live in our biological adult children who live in Rochester, and Jenna's married. So I thought, well, Jenna and Matt and Brett could come over, and that would only be 5 people. We could probably get away with that. And so I said, do you guys want to come? And Brett, my responsible 30-year-old says, no, Mom, absolutely not, because, just in case we do have it, I'm not willing to bring it there because you still go and take care of Grandma and Grandpa. So nope, we're just going to have to pass. And I said, you're right. We'll just pass. I agree. But it feels weird, and what we're going to do is, you've met Sherry from my team, Andy.
Yes, I have, yeah.
And Sherry is, a friend of mine since childhood, and she's working with us now, and she also happens to be a neighbor, as in 2 doors over. So she and I have kind of, sheltered in together in the sense that she still comes to my house and works out, but when she's doing it, I'm upstairs, and then she disinfects the whole bike. So, I mean, we're keeping our distance, but certainly, I've spent time with her. So we got the idea that we would go ahead and make meals for the people. We belong to this website in Wabasha called Wabasha Helping Wabasha. So because I'm sheltered in over here at our house in Wabasha, or in Reed's Landing rather, we are going to we're going to cook today. We're going to cook a bunch of food. We're going to cook. She's got half the stuff over at her house. I've got half the stuff at my house. And we're going to cook ham, and we're going to cook barbecued ribs, and we're going to cook chicken, and we've got mashed potatoes and coleslaw, and we've got all kinds of desserts. And we are going to package up meals, and then we are going to go delivering Easter dinners tomorrow. So that's what we're going to do.
And that is certainly in the spirit of Easter. That's for darn sure.
Well, and I think it's just in the spirit of this whole COVID thing. Just, there's a lot of elderly people in Wabasha who aren't even going out to go to the grocery store. So they're just relying on what people are dropping off for them or grocery delivery. So we just feel like it'll be a spirit lifter, and it'll make us feel more like it's the holiday. So
Well, it's a great suggestion for everybody who's able to do that. I know we have a couple of folks that we're going to be delivering some meals to on Sunday as well, because of the very same situation you're talking about. There's quite a few people out there who aren't able to get the things that they need.
Right.
And it's funny, too, that you mentioned that Sherry's your neighbor.
Yeah.
We find ourselves in the same situation. We're actually able to socialize with our neighbors because we realize it's really not a whole lot different than what we used to do before. We didn't stand right next to each other.
You stood at the end of your driveway. They're at the end of their driveway. Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, exactly. It's good.
Don't see the family members so much because, my daughter, she works in the healthcare business, and she'll come over and stand at the bottom of the driveway and chat, but she doesn't want to come in the house just in case.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, that's it. We've got to be careful, right?
But it certainly feels different, that's for sure.
Oh, boy, it sure does.
And I guess moving forward, it must be difficult to be looking at the river and the spring weather coming on. And it's one of those things that'll be difficult to comprehend that you might not see busy river traffic until later on instead of a month or so from now.
Yeah, I wonder, because if people are just, what would be the difference if Scott and I are sitting in our living room together or if we're in our boat out on the river together?
That's a good point.
So I don't know. I mean, I think the fishermen who are always in their boat alone out fishing, I think they'll still be out there. I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. And I know the governor's talked about that because I get to part of my duties is listen into his daily press conferences. And,
sure.
And he'll tell you that this whole business is it's not cut in stone. There's no guidance on this. We're all trying to figure this out on the fly.
Together.
Yeah, together as we move forward. And as the data comes in, he goes, obviously, at some point, we can't continue doing this forever, the social isolation, that at some point we're going to have to cross over a line and say we're prepared enough and we've gone further as far as we can doing this, and we're going to have to modify it and go back to something a lot more normal, perhaps not completely normal, but more like normal than we've been doing for the past weeks. When that'll be is still a mystery, but I know we're all looking forward to it, that's for sure.
Oh, boy, that is the truth. That is the truth. And I do believe that, again, people are still looking ahead at, okay, if it's not June when I get to go back to the campground and hang out with all my friends, hopefully it is July. I mean, I don't think everybody's just said this year's shot, it's over, we don't stand a chance. And I think that, keeps coming back to where I feel about the housing market. People say, what do you think's going to happen this year? Well, I don't have a crystal ball, but I feel like we're still going to sell houses. Our busy months are just going to be not the same as our normal busy months. I mean, that's what I predict.
And who knows, Mother Nature could cooperate and we could have a really, really long summer and fall.
Yep.
Could be really, really nice.
Yep. Part of Minnesota is we never know what we're going to get, do we?
And you'll be able to stay on the river a lot longer this year. Hey, you never know. We can always
You
have
never know.
glass half full, right, Robin?
I like it. I like it.
All right.
Yes.
So, we've talked about this a lot. People are still selling and buying homes. Maybe not as much as we would have thought they would be doing in April, but if you're in that situation and you're looking to buy or you're looking to sell, how do we get a hold of Robin Gwaltney?
Yes, please. And if you have any other questions regarding real estate, like, this is my situation, Robin, what would you advise me to do? I mean, again, we have to think outside the box, and I am available to take phone calls regarding anything at all that's, has to do with real estate. And my cell phone is 507-259-4926.
All right, Robin. Great talking to you again. I look forward to another chat next Saturday.
All right. Well, have a nice Easter.
You too, and good luck with all the cooking.
Thanks. Talk to you later.
All right. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE results on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.